This video is a segment from my podcast, The Redzone Review, which I aired earlier this week, live on YouTube, but is now also available on Anchor Podcasts and Spotify. So make sure to go check them out there if you're interested in the audio edition. But I will be streaming live on YouTube when I do these, so make sure you click the subscribe button to then click the bell icon, which will allow you to be notified for every time I live stream, which if you're in the live stream and you comment a question, I might be able to answer it, and you can be featured on the live stream live. I would also greatly appreciate the subscription because my goal is to get to 200 subscribers by 2021, so I would greatly appreciate it if you subscribed. But with that being said, here are my top 100 players, number 90 through number 81. Starting at number 90, I have Preston Smith, who is a outside linebacker, edge rusher for the Green Bay Packers. So in 2019, Smith had 56 tackles, 12 sacks, 11 tackles for loss, and 23 QB hits. He had a very productive season, and I think it's great that they have two edge rushers that are high quality. You'll see Zadarius Smith might be higher up on this list, but it sort of allows each other to bounce off. Like, if one's being double teamed, then the other one can get a lot of production. So, I think he's a great player here that has had a lot of production, and I think he can probably repeat this success as a Packer was on the Redskins before that. At number 89, this may be a little controversial, but I have Jadeveon Clowney. This may be high. Some of you may be thinking, but he isn't even on a team right now, technically. But I think he has a lot of potential still, and although the injuries are sort of a risk, I think he's asking for a little bit too much money. He should be signed with the team right now if he was willing to go a little bit lower on the pay. But with that being said, he did get 13 QB hits, which I can't find the pressure rate, but what I do know is although he only had 3 sacks, he has a high pressure rate. He's able to get a lot of QB pressures on the quarterback, and so in 2019 he was on the Seahawks for the first time, which he had 31 tackles, 3 sacks, 7 tackles for loss. He also had a pick. Next on the top 100 is Allen Robinson. He honestly, I think, would be higher on the list if he had a better quarterback. With Mitchell Trubisky, aka Trubisky, he had 98 catches for 1,147 yards and 7 touchdowns. That's a very productive season. He sort of bounced back. Obviously, he had some good seasons with Blake Bortles in Jacksonville. It's sort of unfortunate he's never really had a solid quarterback, so I think if Foles gets in there, otherwise if he goes to a different team or the Bears get a new quarterback, that'll be good for them. But next in the top 100 at number 87, I have AJ Green. You see him back there. But he did not play at all last year, so I do not have any stats for him. But I think he will get more production this year, obviously, than last year, but I think he was hurt the year before that too. But he has Tyler Boyd, who, after having a few productive seasons, that the defenses might start to focus on Tyler Boyd a little bit more, which may open it up to AJ Green, as well as they have T. Higgins now. And I think he's still a very good player, although he didn't play at all last year. He was hurt the year before that. I think he will be very productive. At number 86, this is the reason I have the Lions logo. Take a guess. It is Desmond Trufant, a free agency signing. He, last year, here's what I thought was fascinating. He only played 9 games, but he had 4 interceptions in those 9 games. And he also had 18 tackles in the TFL. But 4 interceptions in only 9 games is crazy. That's really good. So he could have had, then you look at, close to maybe 6 or 7, maybe even 8. So I think that he is a defensive playmaker. He's not as good as Darius Slay. I will get that right out of the way. He is not as good as Darius Slay. Darius Slay will be higher on this list, but I think he's a playmaker on defense, and he'll be it was a good move by the Lions to replace Slay with somebody, as well as they have Jeff Okudah as well, but I think this was a good signing for them. At number 85 is based on pretty much mostly production, Robert Quinn, who signed with the Chicago Bears. In 2019, he had 11.5 sacks, 34 tackles, 13 TFLs, and 22 QB hits. You may be saying, oh, that's just because he was opposite DeMarcus Lawrence. That's why he got more opportunities. Well, what I say is that now Khalil Mack will be on the opposite side of him. So he will be able to because Mack will be double teamed a lot of times, which opens it up for Robert Quinn to have another productive season. And I think that is a really big part of it, is I think he will succeed again solely because he's opposite of one of the best pass rushers, if not the best pass rusher in the league. At number 84, I have Darrell Casey. He was traded to the Denver Broncos. Absolute steal of a trade. They only gave up a 7th round pick. But I really thought that was a great move. Last year he had 44 tackles, 5 sacks, 5 TFLs, and 10 QB hits. He can come from up the middle, and it was a great move for them. You look at who's going after the quarterback for them with Von Miller, Bradley Chubb, and then you add Darrell Casey into the mix. That's a huge upgrade for them, and I think that was one of the best moves of the offseason. So I think he will rise back again and have another great season. Number 83, I have DeMarcus Lawrence. In 2019, he had 45 tackles, 5 sacks, 10 TFLs, and 16 QB hits. Although that's a little bit down compared to what he did in 2018, I think he will have a bounce-back season. Sort of what I was saying with Robert Quinn. I think he got a lot of attention last year, but I think that he will have a bounce-back season in 2020. Now, I will say 83 through 100 was very difficult, and if I'm looking back, I maybe would even switch up some more right now. But starting at 82, I think it's a big, I'm going to say right now, a big teardrop. I think that the 83 through 100 are sort of in that tier, but then we have a big teardrop going into number 82, which is Ben Roethlisberger. Just like AJ Green, he did not play at all last year, and you can see him, right there. But he didn't play at all last year, but he did trim his beard, which maybe could be an upgrade. We'll see. He still has Juju Smith-Schuster. I think he'll have a big bounce-back season. The Steelers, I think I was seeing with the whole 7-seed playoff situation, if last year it would have been in play, the Steelers would have made the playoffs. And they did that with only one game of Ben Roethlisberger, with players like Mason Rudolph and Devlin, a.k.a. Duck Hodges, at quarterback. So with him being there, I think that's a big upgrade. But at number 81, to finish off this podcast's Top 100 segment, is Marshawn Lattimore. I will say, you'll find out next episode, but I was debating between him and another corner for who will be 80 and 81. But at 81, it is Marshawn Lattimore. 2019, he had 57 tackles, an interception, and a TFL. I will say that was definitely a regression compared to the year before, but I think he's still a solid corner, and I think he will have a bounce-back season going into 2020. So that was the Top 100 segment. Like I said, make sure you watch the other video if you didn't already to see who 100 through 90 were. But also stay tuned for who will be higher on my list.
Riley, my guy, what's up, man? It's Matt Hereford, number 36, wide receiver for the University of Alabama. And I just want to give a shout out to you, Riley. You're the man. I hope you well with whatever you want to do, and appreciate you. Good luck with everything. Peace out and roll tide.